I could have done with one of those bicycles to come from backstage to here, but there we are. Wassalamu alaikum to everybody. It's a huge, huge pleasure to be here. I am very, very honored to be invited, and I don't want to take up too much time, but I want to relay some important messages. My name's Tony McNulty. I have until recently been the Minister for Police and Counter-Terrorism, but now I'm the Minister for Employment and the Minister for London. And I know this is a national event, but I think it's to London's great credit that we can hold such an event here in the heart of the East End. I'm delighted to be here to talk to so many people from such an array of backgrounds, and it is my great pleasure to have seen some of the proceedings yesterday on the television, particularly, I think, Yusuf Islam's piece where he spoke about misconceptions, deliberate or otherwise, where he spoke about the Abrahamic roots of all the main religions, monotheist religions, and where he spoke about isolation and disconnectedness. And clearly, at any time, but particularly as we go into a period of economic slowdown, it must be right that the government are talking to all of its communities. When I was in the Home Office looking after police, I worked very, very closely with the National Association of Muslim Police and others, including the Muslim Safety Forum, to get to understand where people are coming from, because what Yusuf Islam says is exactly right. If the communities persist in isolation and disconnectedness, thinking that's about safety, if we are doing all we can not to understand each other, then that way lies madness, and that way allows the extremists to fill the space that we should all be filling in the course of normal democratic discourse. I do, by the way, I think come on a cross-party basis in the sense that I would endorse much of what Dominic Grieve has said in his role as Shadow Home Secretary, but I stand here more than anything very, very proud to understand and relay that the government understands the importance of diversity, the importance of our communities working together, and the important role that the Muslim community and Islam in general plays in modern British society. And that's absolutely right. And if I needed any judgment of that, just looking round at the exhibition, I've seen any number of people from a Muslim background playing a clear leading role in so many aspects of what our society needs, in charities, in government, in academia, in the media, sometimes in politics. But I know, and I think everyone here knows, that we need to do much, much more. We need to do much, much more to make sure that the potential of all of our children, especially in the Muslim community, is being realized. The potential of all our communities is being realized, and that we are very, very clear that through our diversity lies strength rather than otherwise. Everyone here will know that there are some of our communities, including our Muslim communities, that still suffer from poverty and deprivation. There are still people left behind in terms of education, in terms of the economy, in terms of health, in terms of a whole range of other areas. And it's my job and the government's job to make sure that does not persist, because it's our role to make sure that no one is left behind, of whatever faith, of whatever community, of whatever disposition, of all faiths and none, nobody is left behind. The importance of today is to make sure that that dialogue is ongoing, that dialogue happens all the time, and we celebrate what unites us, we celebrate our shared values, and if there are barriers around ignorance, lack of knowledge, lack of information, as Yusuf Islam was saying, we break them down because we are stronger with one voice, stronger in our shared values than otherwise. But there are barriers, as people know. I don't want to talk at length and fall into the trap of assuming that everyone in the room knows that the Muslim community is not a terrorist community. It isn't. And those who suggest that it is do so out of mischievous politics, out of ignorance, or deliberately to cast division. And we don't want division. There are I would be the first to say, given my knowledge, there are those amongst us in all communities who would do us down collectively. There are those in all communities who don't want global peace and unity. But when I talk about violent extremists, I mean extremists from all quarters, including the British National Party and those who would defame and diminish the role of our Muslim communities in this country, and yes, including those who purport to act in the name of Islam where they're doing no such thing. If we are clear and confident in our shared values, then there's nothing to stop us. Nothing to stop us realizing the potential of each and every child in the audience. And I was very interested to see yesterday too the Education Awards. I know that everyone here will agree that it is vital that we protect and defend our values that we hold dear, and I know that our unity is genuinely under threat from extremists from all sides, and there are some things that can't be left unsaid, because there are, as I've said, people who will seek to divide us. But brothers and sisters, under God, if we are not having the conversation, if we are not, in some cases, agreeing to disagree about particular issues, but still talking as friends and families, then we leave that crucial space to the extremists. We leave it to those who would do us all down collectively. Because if there is a threat from extremism from all quarters, including racist, it is only our unity, it is only that which unites us that will get us through. There will be people at this event, as Dominic Griever said, who I profoundly disagree with. There are people at this event who I disagree with so much I wouldn't speak to them in any circumstance at all. But there are plenty I disagree with who I will keep talking to because we must. Because if the conversation stops, that's when the mischief carries on. So we talk, and we talk as friends. I don't come here to endorse everything that's said from this platform. I don't come here expecting everybody to agree with every single thing that I say. But as friends and as brothers and sisters, we talk because to stop talking simply isn't the case at all. And I hope people will agree that, shock horror, sometimes governments get things wrong, and I've said that myself. But it's through the conversation, it's by being reflective, by learning lessons and moving on, by conversations that we learn, move on, and make sure, rooted in mutual respect, that we understand each other. This is fundamentally about not letting the criminals and the murderers scare us into changing our historic approach and democratic values, yet these extremists deliberately target the vulnerable in all of our communities. It is a sign of strength that we come together to discuss issues, agree to disagree, but on the areas we agree, make sure that we take the challenge out to wider society.